The third batch of the Harry and David pears are almost finished. I only had 3 trays worth, and since we've already done a bunch of them, not bothering to show you the whole thing. Anyway, I only had 3 trays of them. I filled the 4th tray with shredded cheese. It was just some Costco shredded cheese that we had, and it was getting close to the end of the best if sell-by date. And since we still had more to use, freeze dry this. Now, if you have watched my videos for a while, you know that I really like to take the food out when it's still warm. I like the trays to be toasty, but there are a couple of exceptions, and this is one of them. Very ripe pears will stay kind of flexible when you first take them out if you don't let them cool a bit. So a few types of fruits, pineapple, ripe pears, very ripe sugary types of things, I like to let them cool until they're 80-90 degrees instead of the 120-130 degrees before I take them out. So I've let these cool for about 15-20 minutes. Now we're going to take them out and check them to make sure they're done. So if they didn't lose any weight from my previous check, then they're done. I'm not sure about that cheese yet. So we may be taking out the fruit but leaving the cheese in. And if that's the case, I'll probably spread the cheese onto 2 trays so that it will be thinner and dry faster, or finish drying faster. But first, let's find out if it's an issue by checking it. So I'll open the drain valve. Whoops, I forgot to stop it first. Never done that before. All right. So tray 1, and it's still slightly warm. It's above body temperature still, but it lets these pear pieces not be so warm and so that they're not so flexible. These few that I have toward the front were the ones that I did first, and they were less ripe, and that's why we held off doing the rest of them until the pears had a chance to ripen up a bit more. Anyway, these aren't the same issue. These are closer to like apples. Okay, let's see. And boy, they're awfully tall in the tray. So the tray that had been on the top, the tray 1, is not dry, or was not dry 3 hours ago. And it lost a fairly significant amount, 5 grams, that's a teaspoon. So I'm going to go ahead and put them back in again. Everything else could be dry. Let's check this one. Okay, that went down another couple grams. I went ahead and put everything back in there. I'm going to give it additional time. I'll check it again in 2 or 3 hours. I've got all the bags ready. It's going to be real quick to bag. I probably won't show any of it except for maybe a little bit of the cheese because it's a little different than the others. Anyway, we'll get this restarted and do it again until it's dry. I'm going to add more dry time. I did close the drain valve. Continue and go. Come back in about 3 more hours and give it a check again. So it's been another 3 hours or a little bit more because I let it cool again. And don't do what I've been doing and let it run out so long in the morning. I'm not a morning person, so when I leave it overnight and only give it 4 or 5 hours from the night before, that means it's probably going to be sitting for 10 or 12 hours before I finally get to it at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So give it a few more hours or drag yourself out of bed and take care of it earlier. Anyway, so I waste a lot of time rewarming it and checking it because I didn't get to it and it gets 40 below again. So be faster than me. Okay, we'll get it opened and checked. So I'll open the drain valve. 3 hours ago, this one was about 937, and I did let them cool a little bit. It's down to about body temperature, maybe a little bit more. All right, I think we're ready now. We'll get tray 2. So I think we're going to be very good now. Well, I'm gonna slide these over here so I can get the other ones. And the cheese still has a potential. Okay, no change. The tray of cheese, I'm still concerned about whether or not it made it to dry or not. I need to check the video because I forgot it had been down a little bit and I forgot to write that down for the new starting point. Don't go away. I'll be right back. All right, so no change on that one. Okay, I'll turn off the machine with no defrost. Make it much, much quieter in here. And we'll get these moved over and get them bagged. Okay. So these have had a little bit of a chance to cool, so they're just close to room temperature now. So now they're not all soft and pliable, but they still don't snap like an apple would, except maybe these less ripe ones. Yeah, they're closer to an apple, but even these pears, which were adequately ripe, still are not like the crunchiness of an apple. They're more like pear-flavored cotton candy. Okay, so 929, 927, 874, and then these are some apple bits that I'm not going to be bagging for long term, so I'm just going to basically test them until they're all gone. Or another word for that is snack. Okay, so I'm going to kind of ignore those and use 861 as my weight. That way I'll have a more accurate weight of just the pears. And then the cheese. And freeze-dried cheese when it's dry is really delicious. I'm going to start with the pears. And I already have the bags labeled and that there's 1 pound before freeze drying in each one. So now we'll do the math real quick and find out how much needs to go in each one. And I'll adjust the math a little bit so I can snack on some. Because there was just about 7 pounds before, but that included those little bits of apple. So I'll probably short them a little bit. Okay, I'll be right back. Now, I plan on putting a ½ pound of cheese in each one of these. Well, ½ pound before it was freeze dried. So now it'll be, how much? About 139 grams. So 1/5 of this is 139 grams. I'll put about 139 grams in each one of these. I've got the batch number on each bag and then what it is and how much it weighed before I put it in here. Or how much it weighed before it was dried. So let's see if that much will fit.
Taxi!
Oh. All right, they're all bagged now. I've got 5 ½ pound bags of cheese and 7 1 pound bags of pears. I'm going to add 300 cc oxygen absorbers to each one of these. And I know that's probably overkill, especially for this size. But with the fats in it, I want to make sure that all oxygen is absorbed to take care of any oxygen so it can't oxidize the fats. Now I'm going to tuck, well, the cheese ones I can just drop it in because there's plenty of room. And then this, I'll tuck these down the side to make sure that it keeps out of the zipper and seal area. Then I'm kind of moving them over so I don't lose my place. And then I'll squeeze out as much extra air as I can. And I'll get 2 more out of here, and then I'll reseal it right away. Now we'll heat seal these. Now a gross weight on each bag. Okay, those are ready for the shelf.